I had gotten so much great feedback. So many people were so thrilled with what I had done. And that sense of community that I felt in church was present in Passing Art. A true sense of who we all are. And that acceptance and recognition should always be present.
Hi, everyone. I'm Crystal McDaniel, and this is The Naked Singer. Today, I have a podcast guest. I am so excited about this particular guest because those who are very close to me know how much DJ Curtis means to me. DJ, I claim, is my other child, and he calls me Aunt Crystal. So this is a very special relationship that is developed between a student and a teacher over a long period of years. DJ lived here with us for a while, and so we like to think of our home as his home base. Wherever he thinks about his home base is, I'm going to think about his home base being where I am. So, so it's like that's I'm claiming that whether DJ wants to or not, that's completely up to him. But I claim it that way. He helped me tremendously through the time that my mother was dying of dementia, and she was a grandmother to DJ. He's a brother to my girls and a brother to my son. So I can't say enough about DJ. I can tell you that the first day he walked into my office, there was a special connection between us. And this young man has an amazing talent. And it has never done anything but blow my mind as a singer and as an actor and as a human being. He is just absolutely incredible right now. DJ is a professional performer, and he is with
Center
Portland. Is the
stage.
Theater Portland or
Uh,
Center
yeah.
Stage Theater in Portland, Oregon. I'm gonna let him say that. Center Stage Theater in Portland, Oregon, where he's done a lot of shows. He just finished Rent. What
I'm
show are you
assistant
doing right
directing Tick
now?
Tick Boom.
Oh, that's right. He's assistant directing Tick Tick Boom, which some of you guys have already seen on Netflix. There's a great version of that. It's on Netflix right now. You know that Tick Tick Boom was written by the same person that wrote Rent, which is pretty incredible. And before that, DJ played Hedwig and the Angry Inch, and that was sort of a command performance. So which is pretty good because he was rocking that particular thing out, and I'll let him tell you all about that. I think that I have said enough about DJ, but honestly, I could go on for the next probably the rest of my life about how awesome I think DJ is. So I'm going to stop, and we're going to start with talking with DJ. So hi, DJ from Portland,
Hello from
Oregon.
Portland, Oregon. Oregon.
How
It's
is it out in
great.
Portland?
I've enjoyed it. There's so many wonderful people, so many great artistic opportunities, and I've found some really solid footing here, just as a person and as a creative, and I'm so grateful.
That is wonderful. I'm so happy for you because I've seen you do nothing but
Thank you.
blossom out there. And that is completely wonderful. So, when did you decide? I'm just
All right.
bust right out here. When did you decide as a young person that you wanted to do theater and musicals and acting as a career?
Wow. That's such a great question. I had one moment when I was in high school that I was doing The Wizard of Oz, and I didn't think there was any way I was going to be cast in this show because all the seniors let me know that it was highly unlikely. And I they were like, "Yeah, you got invited to the second callback. Let me tell you, this is groundbreaking for freshmen. Like this is as far as you'll get. So congratulations on making it this far." And the cast list went up, and then I was
That's funny.
Let me tell you, I was
That's
prepared
funny.
already to not be in it. I was like, so this is fun, but then why am I here? Cool. So I did that audition, and then after all the callbacks, I was cast in a principal role. And then the next semester, I did The Good Times Are Killing Me, which is a straight play. And then we had the all school awards, and I won the award for best or most improved out of the whole school in theater. And so that, yeah, a
Wow.
lot of, there were a couple of seniors who came up to me and had a conversation with me because that included the seniors too. And a lot of seniors expect to get that award. And one of the seniors looked at me and they said, "You deserve this. No matter what anyone says to you about this, you deserve this." And that felt,
Well, that was
truly, I
kind.
agree, because I was very confused
That was kind.
as to how I got that award, but very grateful. I was like, this is cool, just very surprising. And after that moment, I kind of felt like, with as much as I loved what I was doing and as much as was happening in that moment, that I should keep doing this. Like it felt like a really big spark and a really
Wow.
big start. And I'm grateful for the teachers who took a chance on me when other teachers were like, this is a no.
I don't know why anybody would tell you no. I can't even imagine
Well,
that.
you know.
But,
Mm-hmm.
it happens. It does. It does. I'm always, why are you telling me no?
Well, on the outside, it helps get some of those no's out of the way.
That's right. That's exactly right. What do you mean no? So, but I know you well enough to know that you didn't start out going to
That's
college
right.
in musical theater.
The first, wow, the
Yep.
first play I ever did was Babes in Toyland in elementary
Mm-hmm.
school, and I was a little stuffed bear with cymbals, and I remember not knowing what was going on
How
at
cute.
all, just watching everyone the whole time, and then the teacher saying, "This is the part where you walk up and you do the thing." And then I was like, "Oh yeah, that was good," and so many people started
Oh, how
laughing.
cute.
Um, because I was just so serious about it. I was like, so we're just, it didn't click for me yet. And that moment, I was like, we're all just standing here and people are watching us, and what is this? I got symbols and that's fun.
Exactly. Exactly. So, what happened between high school and college when you didn't go into musical theater at first?
Between high school and college, when I didn't go into musical theater at first, there was an internal debate. I was deciding between this very practical life that I could have had, which would have been to go to nursing school and take the medical route and really help people. Because with everything that I do in theater, my focus has always been how it can help others. And so I
Exactly.
switched that over to focusing that on theater and really taking note in how theater can help people heal. So I made the decision
Hmm.
that I was going to go to school for theater on my own, no matter what happened. And I took that leap because there's a,
Wow.
yeah, you know how that goes. There's so much want from
Yes.
the people who care about us to have really stable lives, but we can have stable lives doing theater just as we can being doctors. Are we going to make as much money? No. Um, and that's okay, because the healing and the help and the care of people with art is what is really mattering in that moment.
Well, Well, I think what you're saying right there, because everybody gets so money and income um,
Mm-hmm.
conscious, especially when their child is going off to college. They want to know that their child is going to be able to take care of themselves, and the thought of money is always a thing. And I just said a few podcasts ago that you're going to be able to
Mm-hmm.
make money. Money can be made, and it really doesn't matter the amount, the blessing that comes to us. That's not
Yeah.
our decision. Even if
Mm-hmm.
you're a doctor, that's not our decision to make, but it's what you do and how you do it, and how you help somebody else succeed, that actually matters, and how you help them heal, that
Mm-hmm.
actually matters. And if the blessing comes after that, that's that's what makes a huge difference in your life, because success doesn't necessarily mean your bank account.
Truly. Because it's been
Yeah,
ingrained
it,
so
it really
much
doesn't mean your bank
that
account.
unless you're seeing some fiscal return on your efforts, then is it worth it? But then the reality is, people surpass the fiscal. So if you're imbuing more efforts into people than you are on fiscal aspects, then exactly like what you said. The return is much different, and
It is, and
there's a much
no, go ahead. There's much what?
there's a wider berth to the success.
Yes, yes, I think so. I think that it matters, you know, uh, not just
Mm-hmm.
vertically but horizontally as
Yes.
well. Because the it continues to pass
Mm-hmm.
on. You know, the next person and the next person and the next person, and I think that that's more important. At least that's
Yeah,
what I
we
think
agree.
about it. So, yes, we do. We do on so many things. So, when you graduated, and I'm gonna preface this question because um, DJ and my daughter Rosemary graduated together
Yeah.
from the same school. And so they were in the same musical theater department and got the same training, which is one of the reasons that I met DJ in the first place, and why he's a big part of our family, because he and Rosemary were such
Yeah.
great friends. And so after that, how did you get from here to Portland?
Wow. The journey. Uh, well,
Yeah, I know. I
yeah,
know.
because so much happened there. Ooh, yes. So, I did my last year of summer stock. I finally directed a full length play for the first time, The Pillow Man by Martin McDonough. I had gotten so much great feedback. So many people were so thrilled with what I had done. I had gotten compared to people's favorite professors in college after that experience, so it was very affirming in that aspect. So then
Wonderful.
I wanted to hone in on those skills and not just throw myself into directing, so I really just kept it to myself and just studied. And so then I decided to go to New York after that, and I was there for a month. I got work, I won competitions, I got to sing in New York Fashion Week, you know. I'm very grateful, got offered a scholarship to a school, and then I got a job at Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio, which was so
Mm.
much fun. And then after that, I had to put in some work doing some auditions because I wasn't going back to New York because for some reason in my brain I was like, oh yeah, cool. There's no sense in paying for a place when you leave. But that's what happens when you have a certain expectation of living in New York. Also, some environments living wise, as a side note, you should prioritize. And that was not an ideal living situation for me. So I'm grateful that the successes did come in that way so that I didn't have to stay in the situation I was in. Um, I did an apprenticeship after that with Portland Playhouse, who I'm so grateful for. I did an acting apprenticeship and was also fortunate enough to assist and direct, be in the pit ensemble, and also understudy for the one male character in Crowns, directed by Padre Harris.
Now, I know somewhere in your work in Portland, because, as I keep up with all the things that you do, which is hard to do, between you and Rosemary and Rachel and Jacob, I don't even know. It's, you know, I'm sitting around with my eyes wide, spinning around some
Well,
of
you
the
know what
time.
that's like. We've got
So,
a good example.
well, yes, yes, whoa, because you guys do so much. A lot of times people ask me, what are they doing? And I'm like, you know what? Your guess is as good as mine because after a while it all becomes a blur. But, when all of your children are doing something artistic and they're all in different, well, you and Rosemary are different areas, but you're both in theater. And then, when you have them all doing things, it it's hard to keep up with, and I try, but then I just go, you know what, y'all just let me know because when you finish and when you start. that's what you that's what you do. As long as I know you're happy and you're well and you're fed and you got a
I
roof
hear
over your
that.
head, I'm good. But, that's right. But somewhere in there, I do notice that you have been able to be involved in not just in a theater community, but also you've sort of found a niche in the with people of color in doing some shows that are specific in
I
that
did. I
area.
did do.
And how do
Okay.
you find that?
I
Yeah,
did
yeah, yeah.
Black
No, no, go ahead,
Nativity,
go ahead.
which is I did that for
Yes.
a moment. I with was which wow. I did Black Nativity, which was with Pass and Art. I'm really excited. Um, because and at the time I was doing Black Nativity, Ghosted, and I was in auditions for Hedwig. So we'll get to that in a moment. But I was doing Pass and Arts, we
Yeah,
were
yeah.
doing Black Nativity, and a friend of mine who had been doing that show for many years, Nettie McKenzie, who I'm so grateful for, still very good friends with now, has a baby, and it's been exciting to
Oh.
watch a great friend of mine come into their own and into motherhood and go through all of these
Hmm.
things with, because she was also in Crowns with me as well and was an apprentice
Hmm.
at Portland Playhouse. So we got to do that show together, and honestly, it's because of her that I did that show. Which is why I say all of these things about her. Such an incredible person, such a caring person, such so much love that I was like, okay, cool. So I have to meet more people who are my people and see what we're doing artistically
Hmm.
in that way. And
Hmm.
Jerry, who runs Passion Art, is he's incredible, and they all really made me feel held, and they very much so had a family atmosphere, and it reminded me of so many experiences that I had so many years ago when I was really little, when I used to sing in church. And
Hmm.
that sense of community that I felt in church was present in Passion Art. And so
Oh, wow.
it's it's always important to go to your roots and then see how your roots are relative in what it is
Hmm.
that you are creating as an artist, because all of those aspects provide stories to let people know more about who we all are. The more we see stories that we don't visually see include ourselves and then feel like we must be excluded, will diminish the value of that because it's not being recognized in its fullness. Like, this is also a part of yourself because you are here with these people. So, in short,
Right.
priorities. Um,
Well, you know how funny, because that's what I just did the podcast on. It was priorities. So it's funny that you say that, because literally the one that dropped yesterday was about priorities. I think you're right. I think you're right, because there's just some things that you can't run from. I mean, no matter what, we have to acknowledge who we are, and acknowledge that root, which, I was very proud of you, because it's like you have the unique ability to embrace so many different
Thank
things
you.
and flow through
It's
them with
important. I
ease.
mean, there's there's this thing that I've been telling some people when things are really difficult and they receive my kindness. I always say there's enough things in the world that make things difficult for me to ensure that I won't be one of those things.
I think that is that's such a, it's important that you say that, and it's important for us to absorb that, in order, we don't have to draw a line. We can
Yes.
actually flow. We can actually flow. And in that flowing, we accept each other. And that's how you love, because you love past the line. You love, you know there's not a, okay, well, here's where I
Yes.
stop that. It flows past that. I think, there are unique people that are capable of doing that, and I firmly
Thank
believe that
you.
you're one of them. And I think, that you're such a light for an example for other people to be able to see, and to listen to, and to watch and emulate. That's an amazing
Thank you.
skill that you are able to have.
And that's the
Yeah.
journey.
Yeah. So, yeah, it really is. And there's just so many things that get blown up. But the people that are actually able to flow through it, sometimes that's not recognized enough. You
Truly,
know what I'm
yes.
saying? It's usually the horn that blows the loudest, instead of the people that are actually
Yes.
living it. And I think that, that's something that really needs to have a light shined on it, so that people see it and understand, oh, that's where the light's shining. I need to go over
So
there.
valid. Mm-hmm.
you know, I need to go over there. So, a moment ago you mentioned
Mm-hmm.
Hedwig, and I want you to tell us a little bit about Hedwig, because I remember when you first got that role, and you were like, "Oh my goodness," because this is such an important thing, and it's really making me search
Yes.
inside myself for who I am, and what I am, and what I think, and what I believe. All of that was, really a part of that process. So
Wow.
tell us about that.
Okay. Goodness, where to begin? I'll start with. Goodness gracious, where do I begin? I'm so.
I know that's an overwhelming question. But again,
Okay, I will. I
prioritize.
will. I'll say my first way.
Prioritize.
My first way into Hedwig was the PCS Portland Center Stage at the Armory's general season auditions. And I did my generals. I got to like meet a lot of really kind actors and artists, and I was not so sure what was going on. I had immediately discounted myself for the role because of the fact that Hedwig is usually traditionally cast as a blonde-haired, blue-eyed, tends to be cis white male, and I didn't know, or I didn't put myself into that, and like as far as in how I showed up. I wasn't thinking like this is absolutely going to be what I'm going to be doing. It was very much like I really hope that what I'm doing in the room is something that they see that they would want in their season. And then I got called back for that role, and then my whole brain was like, um, so how do we navigate
That's
this?
awesome, though.
Cool, we'll get there. And so my brain,
Well, I say kudos. I say kudos to them
I
for
agree.
seeing past all of
And
that.
I would,
Yeah, kudos to them for not
of
being
course,
stereotypical.
and I attribute that
Yeah,
to Marissa Wolf and Chip Miller. Marissa is the artistic director at Portland Center Stage, and Chip Miller is the associate artistic director. And Chip directed Hedwig, and I'm so grateful for them. And they really saw something in me that really told the story. And in terms of what you were saying about everything, as far as in all of the things that were navigated and what I had to dive into, all of those things were there. The show is very much so about approaching these traumas and then letting things be so you can step into whatever may be after that. And
that's
I
right.
I had so many experiences as far as in memories that were coming back to me in life and different things that people have said, different interactions and relationships that I had had. And I got to help other people who have experienced those things get a moment to recognize that they weren't alone in that fight that they were in. Just because we're not all fighting in the same room doesn't mean that we aren't all striving for what's after that fight.
That's right. That's right. That that's just an amazing thought process, and I've said amazing way too many times this podcast. But you never cease to amaze. Again, there it is. Blow my mind on how
Thank
you
you.
think and how you approach things. That's I'm like one of those little things that it just the top of my head blows off. It's like, wow, you guys, you need to listen to this podcast over and over and over again, because I'm just saying that DJ's heart is beyond. It's you know what it's just beyond, and the way he even is looking at Hedwig uh, is different. It's very very different because he's looking at it from the point of how it can actually help other people and help them learn to accept who they are wherever they're at, and that's just wow. That's just wow. And if you haven't seen any of Hedwig, you should go to their website and then look at some of the photos and some of the clips from Hedwig of DJ, because the makeup alone, we would talk sometimes and he'd be backstage putting on his makeup, and I just tell you it was fascinating to see him transform into this person. Just absolutely fantastic. This it was so fun to
So
see.
much fun to do.
And yeah, I know, and so flamboyant, but yet not.
Gruffly ornate.
Because there's a yeah, yes, but exactly, and the music from it is just
Yes. Oh
spectacular.
yeah. Stephen Trask's music is so much fun. It was exciting to be able to make to Ash, who was our music director for that show, really gave so much
Hmm.
great space to not try and put me into an expectation of what was wanted from me and really utilize what I was able to do, which which was such an exciting experience because I had gotten to use so much of my voice in that show. I didn't use all of it because, want to save some surprises. But
So DJ, just so that everyone knows, DJ has low lows and extremely high
Yeah.
highs. So, in a way, it's like now, and I'm going to make a very weird comparison here, but it's sort of like listening to low Johnny Cash without the country, and then all of a sudden turning into Freddie Mercury.
I love it.
It's crazy. I mean, it is crazy. DJ's one of those people that's like Freddie Mercury, and he could go in and record every single part of
Heck yeah.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Heck yeah.
I mean, every
That
single
actually sounds like
part.
fun. I've never thought about that. You just inspired me.
And you might actually try. You might have
Yeah,
to
that
try
sounds
that
like fun.
sometime. And I still need my yes, and I still need my recording.
Heaven on their minds.
Jesus Christ Superstar. By the way, so has him to do a certain song about 2 years ago, and I'm
You're
waiting
right.
for my
I'm on it.
recording of it. Yeah. But I mean, it's just it's amazing the different genres and everything that
Thank
his
you.
voice will do. It's a voice of a lifetime. I can tell you that. That doesn't come along very often, and that's my job. So when I have a voice coming out of the studio that's like that, I hear them every day. So this is a rarity. His voice is a rarity. So, and to get me to say that is very
Yes, it
hard
is.
work, isn't it,
Yes, it
DJ?
is. Oh, absolutely.
Oh, my students.
That was a part of
they're
the
like,
lessons
"She
before you
gave a
said that.
compliment?" Is it? It's when it's good, it's good. That's just
But do you want to be good or do you want to be great?
So that's right, and that's what I always say. It's like, no, I have no good in there. It's great and above. We go higher than that. So as we're getting towards the end of this thing, where are you going now? I mean, you're
Yeah.
in Tick Tick Boom and you're directing.
Yeah, which is great to it's great to be doing Tick Tick Boom and really honing in on my directorial skills. And goodness gracious, yeah, I do want to talk about this for a moment. Marissa Wolf has been a complete, goodness gracious, wellspring of compassion, organization, attentiveness, and care in providing the space for people and really trusting her team, which has really helped me develop so much as a director. So I just want to say, under her tutelage, I am incredibly grateful. And on that note, I hope to be directing more things soon. I'm not sure how I want to move in that direction yet, but because I'm also working on my writing as well. I want to write a play, and not just write a play. I want to write a play. I want to write the book I was telling you I was working on.
Yes.
I almost like that title, the book formerly known as We the People. Because originally I wanted to name it We the People.
That's funny.
And it was at the same
Yes.
time that
Yes.
campaign came out illustrating that we the people in the United States our makeup is different than what was written on that paper. To start. Like since we are still here and we are the people who live in this country, we should have a true sense of who we all are. And that acceptance and recognition should always be present. In the book that I wanted to write, I guess I can go into this for a little bit. In the book I wanted to write, formerly known as We the People, I wanted to interview people all over the country anonymously and give us all more insight into who we are in the United States without the pressure of saying who you are specifically. But also to say something as far as in what it's like in your state. Like ranging from what's your favorite food to if you could see one thing change in this country, what would it be? to do you believe in aliens?
Wow. That's a
You
good
know?
question. Yeah, yeah. Oh, do people believe in
Yeah,
aliens?
come
Absolutely.
on. Yeah.
Yeah, I just personally believe that, I think we're foolish to think that a God that creates the universe and loves so much, I think it's very arrogant of us to think that we're the only ones he created.
Honestly, and that seems to constantly be like,
I mean, I just think about that.
yes, with the way we learn and with human development.
Uh-huh.
I mean, even as far as in anthropology, like this shift from this perspective of if you're bipedal, you must be smarter. They had to readjust their scope on that because they had to stand up so they could have a better look at things. Like that's different than just being smarter. Like and it when you get so wrapped up and feeling like you're so much smarter than other people, and then there's this egoic presence that ends up sitting on top of that understanding and development, then you do end up not seeing that there's much more than what is right in front of you.
I apologize quickly for the dogs barking, but my assistant Mara just showed up, and now all the dogs are announcing her presence with authority. So they're like, Mara, Mara, Mara. Like they've never seen her before. Yeah,
Well, she's always
it's really
exciting to
sort of
see, so I
funny.
get it.
Yes, she is. She is. So I want to
Yes.
go back for a second, and I want you to explain to us quickly. So, because you and I, DJ and I talk about a lot of things, and so do my friend and I, Eugene, and we get into these deep uh, subjects about stuff and what we think. And anyway, I want you to tell me for a moment what Melissa Wolf's position
Ah,
actually is with the field.
Marissa Wolf. Yeah.
Marissa. Okay,
You're
sorry,
great.
I said it wrong. Sorry, Marissa.
I just wanted to make sure we got it in there.
Yeah, I apologize. I apologize. I am notorious for making up people's names when I don't remember exactly what it is. I mean, my
You're not
poor
alone.
students.
Maybe I
My poor
learned that from you.
students.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just
No.
kidding.
Yeah, Marissa.
Yeah,
Marissa,
you
Marissa.
do.
I got it now, and I wrote it down. Just so you know, I wrote it down. Because I'm asking this for a reason, Marissa, because I want to contact you.
Okay.
Okay, so go
Marissa
ahead.
is the artistic director at Portland Center Stage at the Armory. She's an incredible friend and such an amazing mother. Um, Wait, what did you want to ask me about Marissa? Her position is the artistic director. Should
I
I
want to know.
explain what
I
the
want to know
artistic
what
director
her
does?
position. She's the art. She's the assistant artistic director or the artistic director.
She is the artistic director.
She is the artistic director. Okay. Okay. So, and you're saying that she's a really
Oh,
great
she very much so
mentor for
has
you.
been in this process. Because she's doing the thing that I want to do one day. My focus is very much so on acting right now. But at some point in my life, I do want to be an artistic director. I'm just making sure that I am learning all of the things properly without without throwing myself into things without a full scope of what my life could be. And also giving myself the opportunities to explore the other things I'm so passionate about.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful to have somebody
Agreed.
like that that's willing to take you under wing and allow you to express and to learn like that. And not everybody is able to give that type of freedom. So many people
Absolutely.
micromanage, instead of just having trust. Yes, instead of just having trust into people that are around you. And I think we have to have a lot of trust for one another instead of, just having to control every
Because
single
then you might as well
thing.
just be doing it yourself.
Because when you control, you have right. Because control means you're scared and you have fear. And if you really want to do something creative, then you have to, throw away the fear, even though it still
Absolutely.
is there. So that's a wonderful thing. Okay, well, DJ, I've got
Sweet.
our game to play. So because this has been an absolutely wonderful interview, and I'm like, wow, I you can drop a little bug in Marissa's ear for me and tell her I'm going to email her because I would love to have her as a podcast guest because I just think
Oh
that
yeah,
she
she
sounds
really is.
terrific.
I will. I'll let her know.
Yeah, just drop a little bug in her ear because that would be absolutely fantastic. Okay, so here come our questions. When I have a podcast guest, I always like to play inside the actor studio. And these are the questions that were always used at the end of inside the actor studio. So I always thought they were so much fun, so we're going to play them. Okay, so what is your favorite word?
Ooh. What is my favorite word? You know,
Yes.
oh, serendipitous.
Oh, cool. Serendipitous. That is a good word, though, isn't it? That's a good word. Okay, so what is your least favorite word?
Oh my gosh. Not me immediately going, I can't say it. I've never thought about the
Okay,
fact.
can you start?
Let me see. What's the rating on the podcast? Um,
You can say it. It's okay. You can say it. It's okay because I list it as
oh,
not
I love
for
that. Okay.
kids.
Um, I'll say in terms
Yeah.
of no, I
Go
won't say it.
ahead.
I'll spell it. Cunt. Not a fan of that word.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's the
I'm not
word.
either.
That's a word I
No,
hate.
I really do not. Yeah, I really don't. Not my favorite either. Okay, what turned you on creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
Gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I, me being a person who is always so grateful for so many things that I have. I mean, gratitude can be expressed in so many different ways. When I see gratitude being expressed in other people, it's a reminder that I'm not the only one that's so grateful for the wide array of things that we have. So, from the biggest things to a slice of free pizza, you know? Like,
Exactly.
it's amazing to it inspires so many different things. Like I want to do more. I want to keep going. I want to do things
Mm-hmm.
that actually help other people. So when I see gratitude
Mm-hmm.
also coming from free flowing help, it shows that those things are
Mm-hmm.
deserved and are as important as I feel them for myself.
Mm-hmm. Do you know that in my room I have a bottom drawer in my dresser and every single card or note that I have ever received with a thanks on it, I save them in the bottom drawer and go back through them
I
periodically
do that too, but I put them in
because,
different
especially
places.
y- well, I
That's
think
so
it's
good.
important because, it's important to us, especially when you're having a down day or a day where you don't feel so great to go back through and realize that people thought enough to say thank you or thought enough to write you a note to tell you something, because they don't have to, but they do. And it reminds you that you have a place and a space here and that you matter.
Yes.
And I think that's important that we share that with other people. So yeah, I can see why gratitude would be a big turn on. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so what turns you off?
Oh, we have a couple of
Ooh.
options here.
Hmm.
I'll
Okay.
say it's funny that they are in tandem in that way. Selfishness. Um,
Hmm. Okay.
um, if you, all of the things that I say in terms of being giving aren't about being altruistic. But then on the opposite end of this altruism is this selfishness that I do loathe. It's like you shouldn't give to the extent that you're falling apart. That's a lesson that some of us learn quickly or too quickly or not fast enough, because that's how that works when it comes to falling apart. Um, but then on the other end of that, if you're just taking and absorbing everything from everyone, then it shows that you are your only priority. And you don't live in a world in which you are the only
That
one. So that is a big turnoff.
that's right. Yes. Yes, I say so. Okay, here we go. What is your favorite curse word?
Ooh. Ooh. We might have the same favorite now. Because it used to be for me, it used to be the B word, but I don't say that anymore. Um, but now it's fuck. So, um, yes. Oh my gosh. I actually do curse a little. What's your favorite curse word? Probably fuck. Anyway, that's a whole thing. I'll probably have to share that with you later. It's literally an interview with Miranda Cosgrove. Have you seen that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
That's funny. Yeah. No, 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 no. But you need
Okay,
to.
I
No,
will.
you need to send it to me. You need to send it to me. Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, I'm trying to say, stay away from things myself, but one day I blurted something out because I had read it in uh, Vala Davis's book,
Ah,
Finding Me,
mm-hmm.
and she was talking about when she was little. Oh, it's a fantastic book. It's a fantastic book. But she was talking about what she liked to run around in the street saying when she was little. And I couldn't remember the phrase. And Mara was just about to say something. She'd just finished something really emotional. And she was about to say something else. And I went, and I just screamed it. And
Yes.
she was like,
It's a great word.
what? I said, I'm so sorry. But it was a whole phrase. It was
Oh,
a whole long
you
phrase.
know what? Even better.
And it was like, yeah, yeah, I know. I was like, oh my gosh. And she just looked at me and I went, I'm sorry. Bad timing. Bad timing. Okay. So what sound or noise do
Oh,
you
what sound?
love?
I love the sound of wind chimes.
Yes.
I love wind chimes.
Yes. I do too. I do too. Okay. So what sound or noise do you hate?
Ambiguous yelling. I hate ambiguous yelling.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you yelling? I need specificity. You have created a traverse in your experience that has connected you right to me. Um, what's going on?
That's fu- it's true though, right? It's so true. It's so true. So, my favorite question is, do I have to be here for this?
And that's when you learn
Do you
it's
really
okay to
need
walk
me
away
in
if
the
you need
room, or
to.
can you just do it?
Exactly.
That's right. That's right. So, what profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Oh, oh. I don't know if I told you this. Did I tell you I've moved from dishwasher to cook? I'm cooking at the
No.
zoo now. So that's been amazing for so many different reasons. Because I've gotten to like, on my breaks, I'll go and get to see the animals, and I've gotten to have great moments with like the elephants and the bonobo and the chimpanzee. And it's been great. It's been like,
That's
so in terms
wonderful.
of that, I would love to do, well, voiceover. I said all that to say voiceover.
Voiceover. Voiceover. That would be great, know, you could do
I would
that
love to do
easily.
that. And you know what? When I was a kid, I really
Yes.
wanted to do Foley after I watched Ratatouille.
Really?
Because I
Uh-huh.
watched the
Oh, yeah, yeah,
behind the
yeah.
scenes and I got to see how they made the sounds, and I was enthralled and riveted. And if an opportunity came along for me to actually be able to learn that and do that, I would love that.
That's awesome. Okay, so what profession would you
Oh,
not like to
wow.
do?
Um, ooh. Oh, goodness. What a great question. Because there are so many different things that are popping up to me, and I'm like, no, I could still do that. I could still do that. That would be okay. It wouldn't be the most fun thing. Oh, there we go. Got it. I would not like to work in any of the Arctic exploration. It's
No,
a little too cold.
no.
Just a little
Is that
bit.
too cold?
And I only mean specifically in Antarctica. Like, I'd visit, but I don't want to stay.
No, I would. No, me neither. Me neither. Okay, so last question. If heaven exists, and I'm not going to say if because
Of
I
course.
firmly believe that's just the way the question is worked, but I personally
Yeah.
firmly believe that heaven exists. So, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Wow. I never realized that you, you always knew when to pray, and you always knew when to listen, learn, and pay attention.
Wow. Wow. It's a beautiful question to think about,
Yeah,
isn't it?
it is. And I didn't realize that the answer was going to come to me that quickly, but that's with everything that I'm doing in so many ways, that's definitely what I want to hear.
All right, everyone. That's going to tie up our podcast interview today with our precious DJ Curtis. He's amazing. Again, the word amazing. So do not make this a drinking game. I'm just saying.
If you're my friends, you can.
I'm saying that because you can count how many times I said amazing in this podcast. So if you like comment and say I'm taking a drink or take a drink every time she says amazing, no, not unless you are going to really genuinely give a toast to Mama D, my mother. So there you go. If you
I'm here
want to
for
give a
that.
toast to Mama and take a sip of something, every time I say amazing, you can say, here's to Mama D. So there you
Absolutely.
go. That is the rule and the caveat because my mama would have loved the fact that I said amazing all the time. So, and she happened to love DJ very
And
much.
I loved
So there
her.
you go. All right.
Still do.
That's right, and DJ loved her. So if you want to say a toast that way, you're more than welcome to do it. All right, DJ, thank you so much for spending time with me this afternoon and getting this done. This podcast will drop on the last Monday of August, and I'm trying to think of what the date that will be. That's the 29th. This podcast, because my podcast guests are always on the last Monday. So this podcast will drop on the 29th. So the people that are listening, hi, happy 29th, because it's today and you got to hear from DJ. So that is absolutely wonderful. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this podcast. Tell your people, DJ, at center stage
I
that you're on
will.
here and pass it along to listen. Make sure, guys, you can find me, the Naked Singer, at on Instagram at Naked Singer Blog. You can find me on Facebook at Naked Singer Blog. You can find me on TikTok at the Naked Singer, and you can also find me at the Naked Singer on LinkedIn as well. We have a new class called Energize Sing. I wish DJ could be here to do that because it is
It
really
looks like
really
so much
good. So
fun.
we want you to join us on, yeah, it is, for Energize Sing.
With Skylar.
And I think that's all the information. Yeah, Skylar is doing it. Sky
Yep.
Smith Fit. You can look her up also on Instagram. I'm glad you said that because you can look her up also on Instagram. She is an incredible personal trainer and a singer. So this class has been created for singers by singers. So that's really makes it special because we know what it takes to get your body to do the work. So there you go. Make sure that you join us every Monday. This is the 26th podcast, so there are 25 others to listen to, so you can go back and do that too. And as always, remember I love you, and I'm Crystal McDaniel. This is The Naked Singer.